Hey guys, Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films back again with Doctor Who. Last time around was A Town Called Mercy. What was that one about?
Kind of a throwback to the first Doctor. They were in I can't remember if it was actually on Earth, I think it was, but an old western town a couple of years after the Civil War. There's this cyborg gunslinger, but apparently he was created during a 1,000-year-long war on some other planet, some other galaxy perhaps, and he was hunting down the people who had created him because they had essentially ended up being murderers of thousands of people, genocide sort of thing. And he was coming to this town to kill the last remaining Doctor who had created him. And our Doctor and Amy and Rory said, no, well, can't do that because, look at all the good he's done for this town, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, it was a very, moral, ambiguous, what do we do in this situation? Do we take only into account what he's done in his present life, or does he have to face justice for what he had done in the past, however well-meaning that was, etc., etc.? Again, interesting storyline. Again, very similar to some things that happened after World War II. And remember way back when a lot of those early First Doctor stories were essentially, here's the repercussions of World War II. The Daleks we've talked about for years and years now were basically the Nazis of the Doctor Who universe. So anyway, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, an interesting script.
Yeah, so yeah, we're moving right along. We're almost finished with Season 7, Part 1, as it were. We got 2 more episodes, including this one, so, yeah. You got anything else?
That has got to be one of our shortest intros ever.
These videos are getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and there's just nothing to do about it. It's just how it is. We don't have much to talk about before the video. We don't have much to say during the video, and we talked for like 10 or 15 minutes maybe afterwards, but that's about it.
Well, I will say this. Part of this reason, as you guys have known if you've been watching for a while, I am somewhat distracted. The theater that I work at, that my wife and I are the managing directors of, we finished our season last November with the knowledge that we were going to be moving to a new facility. We were originally given a timeline to move in by April 15th. Around the first week of January, we were informed that we had to be out by the end of February. So, being theater people who say, here's opening night, the show must go on, we completely redid our schedule, and on actually Friday the 27th of February, as of about 12:30 p.m., we were officially out of our old building and got everything moved to the new building. The problem here, and one of the reasons why I'm so tired and not really talking a whole lot on these last couple of videos, is that the new building was essentially not ready for us to move in. So we had huge stacks of props and costumes and the shop and set pieces and everything, which is all kind of scattered around, a lot of it in storage pods, some of it went actually to the building. This past week, however, we managed to get all 3 of the costume rooms done, costumes moved in. We're now working on the props room. We just gave it a quick clean, going to try to move the props in next week, at which point we are hoping the contractors will then renovate our office, the dressing rooms, the green room, and then we have to move all the furniture out of what used to be the kitchen area of this building, which is going to become our new rehearsal room. But that requires us to get everything out and take it across the parking lot and put it back into the shed. The shed was moved from the old lot to the new lot, and we have just not had enough time to get to it. So I've got a muscle strain that I'm really kind of working on here, hoping that it won't be bothersome while we're watching this today. So anyway, that's the update, and I will keep you advised as to what's going on there. And of course, it's springtime, theoretically. It's what here in Oklahoma we call the meteorological spring. It doesn't actually start till the 21st or 22nd, but in Oklahoma it starts about the 4th or 5th. And we have already had a record number of tornadoes for this time of year. Fortunately, none here in the central part of the state. It's been northwest, a couple of fatalities there, and then either last night or the night before, up around the Tulsa area, which is northeast of where we are, and there were a couple of fatalities there. So, starting off to be a very bad weather year here in Oklahoma.
And I'm watching videos where people that are living in Chicago and New York, they're still talking about the snow they're still getting, and it's still cold. And I think on Wednesday it's supposed to get up to like 87 degrees here. So it's that is now the thing. The South, you get just like a week of winter, and that's it. Just 1 week in January. That's it. Luckily, at the very least, that slightly extends to no tornadoes in December and January. But that's it. Technically, there's also not many tornadoes in like June and July because it's just too friggin' hot. There's no cold air to mix in and make them.
Yeah.
So
for those of you who are not familiar with how tornadoes are formed, it takes a massive front coming down from the north that has very cold, very dry air. And of course, we're only 450 miles from the Gulf of Mexico, not the Gulf of America. The Gulf of America is actually off of the coast of Vladivostok over in far eastern Asia. Anyway, you have warm, moist air coming up from the Gulf. When it collides with the cold, dry air coming down from the Arctic, the two begin to slide over, like the warm air goes up and the cold air goes down. It starts to create, oddly enough, a horizontal funnel, which then one end breaks loose and the funnel brings down to a tornado on the earth. So there's your weather lesson for today.
This happens from February to November.
Yeah.
And Tornado Alley has only grown in the past 20 years or so. And if you're wondering, why would a lot of weather patterns suddenly change in the last 20 or so years? Yeah, I wonder if someone in the 90s was talking about that. I don't know, Mal 4 or something like that. I don't know. Maybe there was a guy whose name was that or something. I don't know. Anyway. And it is also the Gulf of Mexico. It's lovely. It's nice. It doesn't need a rename. So
when that particular politician here in the United States did that, literally on the first week he was back in office, it's like, do you not understand that the Spanish, the Portuguese, and the French were all in the Western Hemisphere long before the British came over? It was the Gulf of Mexico, literally from the time of Cortez. Now, sadly, I don't think we know what the Aztecs and the Olmecs and the Mayans and the others might have called it. Much of their language does not survive to the modern times. But it has been the Gulf of Mexico for 400 years. And there are some of us, who have a history background who will not allow the whims of an addled politician to change the way we speak about geography.
Yeah.
So, to you.
Because there's nothing wrong with the Gulf of Mexico. Like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with the name. It's fine. It's just, it just is. It's the Gulf of Mexico. It's the Gulf that is right next to Mexico as well. Lovely country, You know what I love? There's a meme that I see every so often on Twitter about. Also, it's Twitter, by the way. And every so often I see this meme about Mexico where it's like what people think Mexico is, and it's a picture of like a guy holding a gun to you, and it's like what Mexico actually is, and it's beautiful beaches, culture, history, all of this beautiful art and everything, and a guy pointing a gun at you. I like they're self-aware enough to be like, well, yeah, we have a lot of stuff, but whatever.
Yeah,
So,
you want to talk about a guy pointing a gun at you? I mean,
yeah,
welcome to the USA.
That's the thing. America's exactly the same. So, anyway. So there.
So,
Long intro.
power of three.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've extended the video by about 4 or 5 minutes. Now we can actually watch Doctor Who.
All right.
So let's go.
Life with the Doctor was like this.
Previously.
Real life was like this.
It's Len's Opticians. Just a reminder, your reading glasses are ready for collection.
Milk.
Bye.
2 months out of date. Yogurt. Don't ask me.
Yeah.
Out of washing tablets. We have two lives. Real life and doctor life. Doesn't feel like real life gets much of a look in.
What do we do?
Choose.
And here comes someone to color that choice.
Invasion of the very small cubes. That's new. World leaders are appealing for calm.
The global appearance of millions of small cubes. Despite official warnings, people have been taking the cubes from the streets into offices.
This is the new release of PCs.
Where do
It's
they
fine.
come from?
And why are
They're
they?
just very small
Well,
now.
they're certainly not random space debris. They're too perfectly formed for that. Are they extraterrestrial in origin?
Yes, of course they
Well,
are.
You
Yeah.
have to ask a better man than me.
Right, I need to use your kitchen as a lab. Cook up some cubes. See what happens.
Right. I'm due at work.
What? You've got a job?
Yeah, of course I've got a job. What do you think we do when we're kissing?
I write travel articles for magazines, and Rory heals the sick.
My shift starts in an hour. You don't know what
Yeah,
I'm
Rory's still a
The
nurse.
lounge where you left them.
Domestic life.
There are soldiers all over my house, and I'm in my pants.
My whole life I've dreamed of saying that, and I miss it by being someone else.
All these muscles, and they still don't know how to knock. Sorry about the raucous entrance. Spike in Artron energy reading at this address. In the light of the last 24 hours, we had to check it out, and the dogs do love a run out. Hello. Kate Stewart, Head of Scientific Research at UNIT.
Unit.
And with dress sense like that,
Oh.
you must be the doctor.
And all around the world, people are picking them up and taking them home.
Like iPads have dropped out of the sky, taking them to work, taking pictures, making films, posting them on Flickr and YouTube. Within 3 hours, the cubes had 1,000 separate Twitter accounts.
Twitter.
I've recommended we treat this as a hostile incursion.
Not a single change in any cube anywhere in the world. 4 days and I'm still in your lounge.
You were the one who wanted to observe them.
Yes, I thought they'd do something, didn't I? Not just sit there while everyone eats endless cereal.
You said we had to be patient.
Yes, you, not me. I hate being patient. Patience is for wimps.
He needs to be tested for ADHD every life.
98, 99, 100, Amy! 4,999,5,000,000.
Well, you should try playing video games at some point.
Nothing like a bit of activity to pass the time. How long was I gone?
About an hour.
I'll be back soon. Monitor the cubes. Call me. I'll have the TARDIS set to every news feed.
To the end of a week of cubic questions and theories, but no answers. Could this be the greatest stealth marketing campaign in business history? And if
We can't do it without you. I want you to go full time. Full time? Blimey. I said yes. I committed.
I can
You know, they could-
bridesmaid.
They could do that if the TARDIS just
Like, I
came
know
back.
I'm gonna be here.
You stay up and watch it all the time.
I film it while I'm asleep. When I wake up, I watch the footage on fast forward. I email the result to UNIT. My middle name is Diligence.
Wow. I can't wait to see day 68.
Don't mock my log. I'm doing what the doctor asked.
It'd be the two of us if we had to do something like that.
Mr. Ryan, please. Again?
Stuck in the toilet. How'd you bring the toilet with you then? Oh no, ominous child.
With blue eyes.
Will you tell your colleague here that I... Stop!
Ah! Ah! The cube belts!
Where can we put the cube?
This is the easiest thing for the prop department to do. Oh, now it's June.
You'll be back before the party's over. They won't even notice you went. No complications, I promise. Mwah. Ooh. Bit of a shock. Zygon ship under the Savoy. Half the staff imposters. Still, it's all fixed now, eh?
Happy anniversaries.
I thought we were going 7 weeks. got sidetracked. A lot.
What happened to the other people who travelled with you?
Do you want the good version or the bad version?
And I am cream crackered.
Never heard that expression.
What?
I sent you out to sell as many cubes as you could in 24 hours. And look at you. You've made a right hash of it, haven't you? Well, Craig, you're fired.
Ugh.
Find a restaurant.
The Apprentice.
I'd serve.
Yeah, right. You running a restaurant.
I've run restaurants. Who do you think invented the Yorkshire pudding?
Where's the doctor?
On the way again. I'm going for a bath.
Well, he finally found video games, thank God. And they're the most active ones he could. Yeah,
we've played.
That's the best one. Oh, man.
Is that all you can do? Hover? Bet a metal dog could do that. Ooh, that's clever. What's that?
That's a gun!
Accessing all of human history. Math, science, history. Unraveling the mystery.
All through the Wii?
Hi,
Every cube across the whole world activated at the same moment.
Now we're in business. You sent me a message to my psychic paper. You know what? I'm almost impressed.
Secret base beneath the tower. Hope we're not here because we know too much.
Yes, I've got officers trained in beheading. Also, ravens of death.
I like her.
On a loop!
Dreadful.
Lethbridge-Stewart. Heading up unit, changing the way they work. How could you not be? Why did you drop Lethbridge?
I didn't want any favours, though he guided me, even to the end. Science leads, he always told me. Said he'd learned that from an old friend.
You learned that the hard
We
way.
don't let him down. We don't let this planet down. But this is one corner of one country and one continent on one planet that's a corner of a galaxy, that's a corner of a universe that is forever growing and shrinking and creating and destroying and never remaining the same for a single millisecond. And there is so much to see, Amy. Because it goes so fast.
Yes,
I'm not running away from things.
Say
I'm
that
running
with a
to
1,000-year
them.
perspective.
They flare,
Well.
fade forever. I'm running to you and Rory before you fade from me.
Don't be nice to me. I want you to be nice to me.
There you do, Con. 7, what's important about 7? 7 wonders of the world, 7 streams of the river Ota, 7 sides of a cube.
A cube has 6 sides.
Not if you count me inside.
That's a countdown.
That can't be good.
Nah. Oh, jeez.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm looking for the supplies cupboard.
Oh no.
I
It's
said,
just two
I'm
weird
looking for the
orderlies.
supplies
Ugh.
cupboard.
Oh,
Okay.
I think we found the villain.
Together, they open the next.
Doctor, what's the matter?
I don't know. Hospitals are logging global surge in heart failures, cardiac arrest. That's it. Anyone heart? That one's not working.
Pure electrical search out of the cube, targeted at the nearest human heart. The heart, an organ powered by electrical current. Short-circuited. How to destroy a human? Go for the heart. Ow! Crikey Moses!
Doctor.
It's all right. I can't do it. I need both hearts.
Crash cart.
You are in a hospital.
All right. Desperate measures.
What? No.
All right.
Okay, he's good.
2 hearts. Back in the game.
Never do that to me again.
Where are we?
We're in orbit. 1 dimension to the left.
Hurry!
It's a boring spelling, Salts. Outward in 7 galaxies.
Oh.
What kind of a welcome do you call that?
It's Darth Vader.
Some people call it Judgment Day, or the Reckoning.
Do we know?
I've never wanted to find out.
Before the closure, there is the turret. The Shakri serves the turret.
Pest controllers of the universe. That's how the tales went, isn't it?
Wow, that's some seriously weird bedtime story.
You can talk, Wolf. Don't let me down, Cubes. You're working for me now. Oh dear. All those cubes. There's going to be a terrible wave of energy ricocheting around here any second. Run.
Let's get out of here.
Missed this.
Emergency hospitals and field units are working at full capacity around the world as millions of survivors of cardiac arrests are nursed back to health after an unprecedented night across the globe.
Would have been billions, technically, if it was a third of the population.
Yeah.
I understand.
Actually, it's you they can't give up, Doctor. No, I don't think they should. Just bring them back safe.
So, that was the year of the slow invasion, when the Earth got cubed and the Doctor came to stay. It was also when we realized something the Shakri never understood. What cubed actually means. The power of 3.
Oh, nice.
Alrighty. I had to look something up that I don't know if it's confirmed or not. Let me just make sure. Okay, I don't know if it's confirmed or not. So the folks in the comments will have to help me out on this. But I think the actor playing the Shakri just walked out halfway through filming and was very angry and hated everything about this and just walked out. And they were supposed to have more with the Shakri. So they just took whatever they could of what they had already filmed and just duct taped it together into those final scenes, which is also why, it's a somewhat quick resolution of just sonic the screen, everyone's back to life, and then they leave. And that's the end of it, so.
Well, that happens frequently where an actor dies during the filming of a movie or something, and even before, artificial intelligence being able to recreate that. Back in the 1960s, early 60s, very famous actress died, and they still managed to put the film together by essentially shots that she was supposed to have been. They shot over the shoulder of a stunt double, of the dialogue. That's weird though.
Yeah, apparently he just suddenly was angry, hated everything about this, and just walked off set. So,
well, that gets you fired and never hired again.
Yeah.
There are all sorts of reasons, medical reasons and psychological reasons, but just saying, I don't like what I'm doing here and walking off, that's unprofessional.
Yeah. And I don't know the full story. I tried to look it up, but I didn't see everything quite there, but I remembered that was something that people told me originally when I watched this. So maybe people can fill in some of the details. Maybe I'm a bit wrong on some of it, but I'm pretty sure that was the case with that, which kind of just sort of rushes the end of the episode after building up the cubes and everything throughout it.
I didn't really feel it was rushed. That's the format. It's an hour long. You got to have a resolution.
Yeah.
It's interesting though. This came out when?
This should be 2012.
Well, all right. Now I'm sure that they never went back and read the Marvel comics or anything. Although Chibnall and Moffat might have done that when they were younger. But that's the story of Thanos. That's the whole Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. Here's a guy who says the universe is getting too overpopulated, so I'm going to kill half of humanity throughout the entire universe. the fact that they also made the villain look like Darth Vader after he had been fried in the lava of Mustafar, and before he got his helmet and everything. I mean, it's just, there's so many visual elements there. It's like, did you mean to do that? Did nobody think about that when they saw it?
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because the whole idea of, like, getting rid of humanity, which has become a plague on Earth and everything like that, is like, well, you can do something like that, but the episode's not really about that. The episode is more about the Doctor and Amy and Rory and giving up that life and sort of seeing the Pond's home life for once, where, the cubes, like, everything with that, and, like, the Shakri and this myth on Gallifrey and stuff like that, and they come in and it's basically Judgment Day to get rid of, the people on a planet and just return it to nature and stuff like that. It's like, you don't have enough time to go into that. And maybe that's part of, maybe they could have gone a bit further with that if the actor had finished his job, but I don't know. Again, I'm not quite sure on that whole end of it either.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting thing that is not fully explored. It's just sort of an idea posed at the end. But it's not what the episode is about, really.
Now, again, don't know if this was a rewrite or anything, but as they were on the alien ship there, the Doctor said something about the next group is, like, they're going to wipe out the second, third, or so,
Yeah.
Again, it didn't bother me. I didn't really notice that it seemed rushed. And again, it is really just the story, the understory to the overall Amy and Rory story. So that's fine. I still enjoyed the episode.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to cause any real controversy about this, but there are reports that some of the, shall we say, the leaders of the American military who are conducting this, shall we say, exercise in Western Asia recently, told their troops that this was in part to help bring about the end times. This is that whole Christian nationalism thing going on. And I've seen so many posts almost everywhere that basically says, if you're referring to the big battle of Armageddon, which is, mentioned in the Bible, all the great powers meet at the battle, and, that is not exactly what happens there. All the armies meet, but there is no war. So if all of these Christian nationalists, whether they're American or some other nationality, if they believe that overthrowing the regime in Iran is going to bring about the end times, they are 100% incorrect.
Oh, yeah.
And all they're doing is essentially what has been happening for the last 200 years, is literally creating problems that future generations will have to deal with. I'm not going to say resolve them, because obviously they haven't been resolved literally since the Crusades, but these people are, I would seriously like one respected conservative historian to sit these people down and say, you people are idiots. You are brainless, mindless idiots.
And it sounds to me like someone didn't watch Good Omens. So,
yes, they should have.
Or the more likely thing is they didn't actually read the book that talks about the Armageddon.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I haven't read the book either, but I'm not trying to destroy the world. So I'm just sitting here watching Doctor Who on YouTube and minding my own business. So
yeah. Now, let's be honest. Most of the people have never read the Bible all the way through. I will be honest, I haven't either. I have read certain parts that I felt were pertinent to what I was teaching or what I was learning when I was growing up. But no, reading the whole thing through, and bless your mother and your brother, they have both done that. I used to tell my students, and again, please don't anyone get upset with this. The Bible is not a history book. It's not a scientific. It is a history of the Jewish people and of the early Christian people. But it is not backed up with other time appropriate writings or other things. It's just like all of the religions of the world have their own set of beliefs and values based on their people's shared history. But as far as accuracy, it's just like the Greeks and Herodotus and all the people who began writing history. It all comes from a certain point of view. It does not necessarily represent the facts of that time period. It represents what these people believed, and that's what it should be accepted as. This is the belief of a certain group of people, and if that's their belief, allow them to accept that. So.
Yeah. What do you gain by destroying the world? I mean, they can do that in sci-fi because it's sci-fi. The Shakri can do that, obviously. But it's just like, what do you gain from destroying, starting the War of Armageddon? It's like, what are you getting out of this?
Well, again, according to that belief, is you're getting to be with God and with Jesus. You're going to end the earthly world so that you can spend eternity with the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
I feel like you can do that in a far easier, quicker way. It's called a bullet in your own head. So,
yeah, don't take the rest of us with you. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so interesting questions, interesting ideas raised in the episode. And again, the performances, it's nice meeting Kate Stewart. I think in our tour of Doctor Who, she was in something.
She was in the 50th anniversary.
50th, all right. So I knew she was coming at some point. You had told me she was coming at some point. So it's nice to finally see her there. It is interesting to see Amy and Rory finally saying, you really can't do this anymore. Are there... Susan was the first one who said, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to stay here with... I can't remember what his name was, in 2150.
Yeah. I mean, most companions say that. They leave for one reason or another. Whether they have to stay behind to, help certain people, or they just end up going back home. Ben and Polly being a good example. Tegan initially being a more drastic example of that. And it's so difficult because this episode kind of reinforces that it's just like, yes, we can leave Amy and Rory behind. And I get they're very important, especially Amy to this incarnation of the Doctor. But and I understand him not wanting to let them go, not face all of that again, especially because, after seeing what happened to Rose and what happened to Donna, especially recently, it's like he doesn't want anything to happen to them. But by doing that, it means he also can't just let them go and live their lives in London, And so it's just like this double-edged sword where, I don't know, we're just building and building towards this, and it's like, well, are you going to let them go? And here, they kind of have made the decision, Rory took a full-time job, Amy said she's going to be there as a bridesmaid, but do all these things and not with the expectation, well, we'll be somewhere in time and space, And they made that decision, and then right at the end, for some reason, Brian just says, yeah, go off with him. And it's just like, but the problem this is creating. And it's like, and because for some reason, we can't just have Amy and Rory lead their lives. The Doctor comes in for dinner, Christmas dinner, which is what they had, in the Christmas episode. He comes around for Christmas dinner. Maybe they go on one adventure and then come back, and then that's it. And the Doctor goes off, finds a new companion, and it's all fine. I don't know why we can't just do that. So, but still, at the very least, with this episode especially, because I said, the first two episodes of this season, I was like, I don't really see why we need Amy and Rory in these episodes. And last episode, it worked a little bit better because, you had that moment where Amy was like, this is what happens when you're alone for too long. You become more cruel. And so I was like, okay, that works, even if otherwise they didn't do a lot in that episode. This episode is kind of the payoff to it of like, this episode only works because Amy and Rory are well established. And, they can go back to their home life. We understand their home life. We understand what Rory does. We understand what Amy does. Brian is there too, adding that, bit of domesticality, I guess, that, we've had pretty much since, Rose in the first season. But this episode only works because of that. But it's just this nagging thing that I've always had about this little, batch of episodes where it's just like, why can't we just leave Amy and Rory to live a good life, So, I don't know. And this will continue, and I will be ranting 10 times as much next episode, if that is any indication of where we're going next episode. So, but otherwise, this is still a good episode, and it does still work, especially because Amy and Rory are so established.
Yeah.
So, and even with everything with the Shakri and some of the ideas that they present at the end, they're kind of shaky. Maybe they don't address them as much, but it's really just not the main focus of the episode. So,
and theoretically, I know that this is kind of a weird little, addendum at the end here. He has been with them longer than anybody except Susan.
Yeah.
Because by, episode 1, the unearthly child, obviously Susan grew up with her grandfather, but here is the first time he met one of his companions as a child.
Yeah.
Came back to her later, not as early as he meant to be, but he's literally, I think they had said they've been together for 10 years, give or take.
Yeah.
But he's literally been with her since she was a child.
Yeah. So in a sense, Amy and Rory, well, Amy specifically has probably known him for over 20 years by this point.
Yeah.
So
most of her life.
Yeah. So it is, it's, I don't know, it's tricky. This whole batch of episodes is the trickiest to talk about, especially because when I first talked about this, that might have been the first instance where I was really at odds with the comment section in terms of Doctor Who, because I kept saying, why are they still here? Why are we still doing this? Why can't we move on to a new companion? Not that I dislike Amy and Rory. Amy and Rory are great. They're some of my favorites, and they still work, and these are still good episodes. But why are we doing this dance? Why are we circling the drain of what's going to happen with them? Just can we have to get to a point of what we're doing with Amy and Rory. And well, next episode we'll get to the point.
Okay.
So but otherwise it's fine.
Yeah.
So
again, I'm enjoying this entire season.
Yeah. So you got anything else?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, next time we'll talk about Doctor Who and world politics some more. So I don't know. It depends. Or we'll be dead. I don't know. It could be the end of the world by the time this episode goes out. The other thing. So just as a quick little thing. So why are there also 2 different Judgment Days? There's the Judgment Day of everything gets destroyed, and then there's the Rapture. Where did that one come from?
The Rapture isn't really a thing. That's something from, I want to say either the late 1800s or the early 1900s. That's an interpretation of a couple of passages in the Book of Revelation that most theologians nowadays say that has nothing to do with the ultimate Judgment Day.
Yeah. Well, because it's just kind of a funny thing, because it's on the one hand, I'm like, okay, so, if the rapture happens and, the true children of God are taken away, and I just kind of sit here and it's like, well, that might be nice. If the quote-unquote true children of God are taken away and we're all left here, it's like, well, that might not be too bad, actually. I thought I might be able to get used to that. I can just play some video games, But on the other hand, then there's the reverse of that. Are they the true children of God? And I feel like that should be a movie. I know they've made Rapture movies with Nicolas Cage, and they're apparently awful. But where it's just they're... I think it's literally just called Left Behind, and there's planes dropping out of the sky and stuff like that, because so many people are missing now. And I want the reverse of that, where the movie is about the true children of God, and then the rapture happens, and they're still there, and now they just have to deal with it. That could be either funny or really dramatic and interesting, or both. Or so. I don't know. That also kind of sounds like a British comedy in the early 2000s, I'm not going to lie. That could be a movie with Simon Pegg, where it's just a comedy about the rapture. So, Anywho, with all of that, whatever I just said, being said, we're Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films, and we will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of our modern Doctor Who reactions, as well as another playlist with every Doctor Who reaction that's on the channel. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.